Hello? Um, this is working. This is working. Okay. And okay, you should be hearing nice soft piano music now. Welcome everybody to the stream. Happy Monday. You'll see that I'm still in the living room. Normally I would be in the booth, but my mod Captain Wasaba suggested, why not just be in here? Because I was talking to him after the stream last week, like, man, it's so hot in this booth. I'm literally melting in here. It's like, why not just go in the living room then? I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. So I'm gonna see how this goes. Um, the one issue that I might have is that I can't lean back in the couch like back here while also um working on the stuff right here, because my laptop's too far away, so there isn't any like back support. So I'll just have to focus on my posture, I guess. And also, you may have noticed the stream go down like immediately after I brought it up the first time. I'm on two screens here, and I pressed spacebar to pause a video I was watching on my laptop, and I guess it was still like attached to the other screen, and when I pressed spacebar, it ended the stream. But yeah, we missed like 2 minutes, but whatever. Anyway, so today we're going to be working on more Lexicauseways stuff. It's a board game I'm working on right now. The sort of Scrabble-like, if you will. The goal today is to start on designing the letter tiles that goes with the game, and implementing some of the notes that I took during the playtest last week. If you weren't there, me, Wasabas, and Wabas, we were on stream together, and we were playtesting the game in Tabletop Simulator. And I took some notes. I got some notes on my phone here. Some good suggestions that I want to implement. So, yeah, we'll see how far we get. But first, I have a little announcement to make. So I have another game that I have in the works right now. It's a lot farther along than this one, but it's a card game called Ego and Opus, right? And this is the box I originally ordered for it. You can see how large the box is. It was way too big for what was inside. So I ordered a new one, and I got a new box. And check this one out. Boosh. It's like deck box sized. This is a perfect size. And it came out really nice, just like the other ones. You can see it's printed on all sides there. It's got like the blurb, the contents here, the blurb, the QR code for the rules. There's the cover art, I guess you could call it. But yeah, that's pretty good stuff. So now I have 3 different boxes. This was the first box for the original version. So yeah, I don't know where I'm gonna keep all these boxes. I mean, I guess I have room on my shelf. But you know, I'll keep the other 2 for posterity. Anyway, let's get the show on the road, huh? So let me go ahead and open up some stuff here. It is nice to have the big TV screen as my second screen. It's quite handy. Let Languages. Where am I? Okay. Okay. So, boosh, boosh. We'll open both of those. So here's the board. This was the board we were using. Oh! Almost knocked everything down. This was the board we were using for the playtest. And it was serviceable. But there are a couple new ideas that I think we can to implement here. And here is the this is the template that the game crafter gives us for letter tiles. I'm looking at the wrong screen. This is the well, it's not letter tiles. There's no tile option. But they offer shards, which are like little cardboard or rather cardstock like pieces, which it's the next best thing. This is the best thing I could get. And good thing is they come in packs of 100, which is exactly the number of tiles that I needed. So that's pretty good. Or rather, it's the number of tiles that are in Scrabble, which I'm basing the tiles on. Which is another thing that I think we need to take a look at. We need to figure out how many of each tile we want, and how to, what's the word? Value each tile. And I'll get into that soon. Actually, what are we gonna do first? What should we do first? Let's go over the notes that I got from yesterday, or not yesterday, from Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday, yeah. I've been taking off so many days lately that I'm getting confused. Let's see. Where did I put those notes? Here we are. Okay. So some of these notes are just there because I forgot to clarify some things in the rules, like blockades. I need to make a decision on whether or not they stop you from building things off of the tiles that they're on. And I say the answer is probably yes on that, just because it would be, one, it makes thematic sense, because a blockade, it stops things, and it makes them more powerful. Because blockades in the playtest were not an option that were used very often. It was used maybe once or twice. So giving it more utility can only be a good thing, right? Let me just boosh. Yes, I'll need to update the rules. Blanks. So because what I did for the demo, I built it off of hold on. I want to show you what I'm doing, actually. Let me open up a new... Increase that. I'll type out what I'm talking about here. It's a little That's a little big. 30? You can see that. Okay. So, blockades. Stop building. So I'm gonna rule yes on that one. Yeah, just to make them more, just to make it a stronger option. What do blanks do? Right, so I built the tabletop simulator demo off of a tabletop version of Scrabble that I found on the workshop. So I used Scrabble's tile set, and it included blanks. For that demo, we just decided to remove blanks entirely. Because, you know, it's not something I ever necessarily intended. So I guess the question, instead of what do blanks do, is should we have blanks? Is a better question. Well, I already answered that one, so I'll take that off the list. So should we have blanks? Tiles and duels go to bag. Oh, okay. That's just a clarification that I didn't make. Yeah, so if you use tiles, any tiles that you use during a duel, they go back into the bag. Let's see. Yes. Take your turn as normal after a duel. Yep, that's just another rules clarification. Half vowels. Look at half vowels. Oh, right, okay, I know what that means. So, in this game, it has sort of Mario Party aspect. At the end of a round, you look at how many players' pawns are on a vowel. And depending on that, you roll off for a different bonus, right? So if everybody's on a vowel, you roll off for, well, I don't remember the exact effects, but you know, like one of them is if you're on no vowels, then you're rolling for an extra roll, or like an extra movement roll, or if you're on all vowels, you're rolling to switch places with an opponent, something like that. And one of these is half vowels. Now the problem is, what do you do if you have 3 players, right? What do you do if you have 3 players playing the game? You can't ever land on half vowels because there's 3 of you. So the question is, what to do about half vowels? In 3P. Because it's 2 to 4 players. And I guess if you have 2 players, then that makes a new problem, because the other one is none of the above, right? It's either none, no one's on a vowel, half of them are on a vowel, all of them are on a vowel, or none of the above to cover every other option. So maybe we should just can I not use tab? Maybe we should combine half and other into majority. Right? So the idea here is that we take the player, half the players are on vowels and none of the above, like every other option, and just combine that into one for the majority of players are on a vowel. I need to turn on my laptop fan here. It's going kind of wacky. There we go. So we just combine that into one, like, if the majority of players are on a vowel, this happens, which covers for all three options, 2, 3, and 4 players, right? Because there's all, there's nothing, and then majority. Well, then it's also possible that a minority of players are on a vowel if you're on 3 or 4 players, because you can have 1 on a vowel and 2 on a consonant, and then you can have the same thing in a 4-player game. 1 on a vowel, 3 on a consonant. I'm not sure about that one. That's an interesting problem. Unless you just dictate that you can only have 4 players, but then, like, how do you actually effectively do that? Because you could just play with 3 players, you know? There's nothing actually stopping you. So that's a question. Can out players cross single gaps? So when a player's out in this game, they're not completely out of the game. They can still move their pawn around and it acts as a permanent blockade. And we were talking about giving these, like, sort of ghost players more power. Because they don't get to do anything else than move, essentially. So, you know, to make it more interesting, maybe they could cross over single gaps. You know, like jump over single gaps as part of their movement. Although that might be too strong with this current board design. Because you can see most of the gaps here are 1 long, right? They're bing, bang, boom, bop, bing, bam. Most of these are 1 gap. So maybe that's too strong? I don't know. That might be too strong. Cross single gaps. Or I guess the question would be, well, there's a few questions about out players that I didn't put in the initial rules. Like, what happens if they're on a bridge when it's destroyed? Or what happens if, or do they count for chance time? Which, yes, they should. Yes. The more power we can give to somebody that's out, I think, is better. Because, you know, the worst thing is to be sitting on the sidelines for a game that could go for another, like, hour. And, you know, actually, the playtest went for almost 2 hours. Which I don't know if that is an issue with the game itself, or we were just playing slowly. I mean, that varies depending on how much decision making you make as a player. Should players be able to cross gaps / pass through blockades. What happens when an out player falls? Do they just go back? Can they just stay there? We need to rebalance the letter values. That was a big one. That was a big problem that I noticed. So in this game, when you're moving around, so the goal of the game is to move your pawn into another player's space and duel them. And to win a duel, you use your letter tiles in your rack, like in Scrabble. And the attacker places a letter. And then the defender has to place a letter that is higher value than theirs to beat them. And that being A, in the current version, A is the lowest value and Z is the highest. And then the attacker gets to play another letter on top of theirs, and so on and so forth, until one player is unable to play a higher value letter. So the problem we came across with this system is that higher value letters, or the highest value letters, were the most obscure letters. Meaning that there was little strategy to whether or not you should use them or not, right? Because letters like W, X, Y, and Z are so hard to use anyway, especially in this game, that using them as ammo in a duel is just a no-brainer, right? Or it might be the only thing you can use them for because they're so hard to use. So you just keep them in your rack until, you know, you get in a duel. Because if you have a Z, you basically win, right? So it ended up just being that if you, and that's what happened in my game. I won that match, the test game, because I had a Z. And my opponent couldn't do anything. The only other thing you could do is just have another Z. So yeah, it's a little busted. It's a little busted. So what we need to do, values to letter tiles. What we need to do is assign balanced values to letter tiles, right? It should be a question whether or not you want to use a letter or not, right? So I think off the top, vowels should probably be the highest value letters in the game, at least amongst the highest value letters, just because you use them so often. Then it actually becomes a choice. It becomes a decision you have to make. Like, do I want to use this to make words easier, or do I want to save this for a duel when I'll actually need to have higher value letters? You know what I mean? This is probably something we'll do today because I want to start on the letters. Bonus point spaces. Or colors. Hold on. So we had some discussions about special spaces. So let me put that down. This points slash range modifiers slash rainbow, and then so special spaces, right? In the playtest, I got feedback that you know, the game is about movement. It's about moving around. But it seemed, I think what he was trying to tell me is that, I mean, I have it recorded. I should probably watch it again. But I think what he was trying to tell me was that it's very obvious which way you should go to get to somebody. Right? Just make a beeline, right? And detours really aren't encouraged, you know? Because at least in this current board, the strategy basically is to get to this big road right here, this highway, and then, you know, just stay on this highway, because you can get to basically everywhere from here, which I'll probably change. But he said, like, maybe incentivize players actually going into the gaps, like building into the gaps, or like trying to build larger words to get into harder to reach places. Like here, or like right here. That'd be pretty hard. We ended up coming to the idea of like special spaces to put on the board, and we had a few ideas as to what those could be. I mean, that's another option. So we had some ideas. Bonus point spaces, kind of like classic Scrabble has those special spaces that give you extra points when you build on them, or when you build words on them. There isn't really any like point system in this game, so I don't know how that translate well, but you know, kind of like just the idea. Maybe like you could draw more letters if you landed on that, or something along those lines. It's sort of the weakest idea we had. But one idea that I was very interested in is, and we were talking about this as well, I asked them, like, hey, currently there's a 5x5 range from the center of, like, your pawn being the center of a 5x5 square. That within that range is where you can build letters off of, or build words off of. In every other action, you can make blockades, destroy bridges, build bridges within your range. And currently that range is pretty generous, right? So 5x5 would be like this right here. If you can see where my mouse is. 5x5 is pretty generous. That's a 1/9 of the board, right? But we were talking about what if there was a way you could modify your range, right? So instead of maybe 5 by 5, you could have like your column and your row extending in both directions, or in the 4 cardinal directions, infinitely, right? Or maybe you could, squash and stretch your square to suit your needs. And we ended up thinking like, well, what if while you were on a certain space, you could have unlimited range as long as you're on that space. Like while your pawn is on it, you can build, destroy, put a blockade anywhere. And I was the one who suggested this initially, and my playtesters were or Cap and Wabus were a little bit skeptical, which, I mean, fair enough. That's pretty powerful. But you have to land directly on it, and you can't stay there the whole time, because you have to move eventually. You have to eventually move off of the space. But it would be a powerful thing to get to, and it would incentivize players to reach more obscure spots. So I kind of like that idea. Another option was the rainbow space, right? So we have 3 colors, right? And these color slots, letters go in here. And the color tiles on the board correspond to whatever letter is in it, right? So if there's an I in the green color slot, then all of the green spaces are I's, right? So this was Cap's idea. Cap's idea was, what if we add a space that was all 3 colors at the same time, so that you could use it as sort of like a pseudo wild card. It could be any 3 of the letters in the color slots, right? So if we have like a P, an N, and an I, if you landed on one of these, if you land on a rainbow space, it could be a P, N, or an I. And I do like that. I do like that idea a lot. Opens up some extra strategy, some strategery, which ultimately this is kind of it's kind of a strategy game. So any opportunities to give the player more choice and more options is a good thing, I think. Another one that I just came up with, just spitballing, is like a warp space, right? You land on this space, and then you can move to any other warp space on the board, right? Maybe. Hold on. I like these 3. 3 is probably enough. If we're going, I mean, there's no reason why we can't implement all 3 of them. If we're going to have multiple, then 3 is probably the upper limit, though. Right? Because we only have so much space. It's only a 15 by 15 board. So we have to be sort of not liberal. We have to be sort of conservative with where we put these bonus spaces, because there's not much to work with. Oh, and we need start spaces as well, which would just be anything on the edge. It'll probably be helpful to like mark those, because the rules just say anything that's any road space that's on the edge, it'd be a lot easier to just say any start space, right? So that would be these 5 up here, these 2, these 4, and these 3 over here in the current board. And then another suggestion was number of color slots. What exactly was that? I think it was Cap. He said something like, there are, what was it? There are 3 colors, but there are 4 players. What was it? He said something like that. Cap, are you in chat right now? I don't think he is. Something about that, but the suggestion was basically to add a 4th color, which would probably be like yellow, you know, naturally. But again, with the whole, especially if we're adding special spaces, I think it would just spread it too thin. Right, because you can see how few, like in reality, there are very few of each color, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So there's only 22 green spaces. And similar counts for the other colors. It's pretty evenly distributed. Which again, it would depend on the design of the roads we go with. You know, how many spaces there will be. There'll probably be less spaces actually, because I want to get rid of this long highway here. I think this is a bad design choice. I think stretches should be no longer than like 5 long. You know what I mean? And this feels, this over here feels a little too sparse. But you know, well, it'll be trial and error. So these are the notes that that I took, and we'll go ahead and address some of these today. So first of all, should we have blanks? We gotta think about how they'd serve the game, right? At least in Scrabble, a blank can count for anything. Which, I mean, that would still work in this game. You know, it'd be a pretty strong tool. But how would it function in duels is the thing. Would it be like a trump card? Or would it be like the weakest in the game? Like, would it just be worth like 0? Because what I'm currently thinking is that if a letter is strong on the board for making words, then it should be weaker. Well, actually, if they're strong for words, then they should be weak for duels? Because, huh. Because the thing is, again, it goes down to like it should be a decision you have to make whether or not to use it for a word or for a duel. Because if they're strong for both duels and words, then it's a decision, right? But then that would mean that there would be letters that are weak in both situations. They're weak for words, and they're weak for tools, like a Z or an X. Yeah, it's a little tough. That's a little tough. Like, theoretically, the values would be opposite of Scrabble, right? Because in Scrabble, vowels are worth 1 each, because they're so easy to use. But in this game, their value should be high, because they are so easy to use, and you're incentivized to get rid of them. So if you don't get rid of them, you should be rewarded, right? With a stronger duel. Interesting. But then what could a blank do? Because in Scrabble there's only 2 blanks. So if we don't have blanks, we just replace those blanks with something else. I'm kind of thinking maybe not. Maybe we don't have blanks. Right? We just get rid of blanks and well, cuz if we have a blank, it can be anything. And then in a duel, maybe it can just be equal to whatever value the last one was, so it just matches it. Might be a little confusing, though. Let's see. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to make a table. How do I add a table? I thought I did it earlier. Control T, maybe? No, that didn't do anything. How did I make a table before? Select tool. Does anybody in chat know how to make a table in paint.net? Adjustments, effects. It was right there. It's a function of the text tool, it looks like. Is there a help button? No. Let's see. Tools. Help. Let's see. I want a table. What? To roll effects, I can create lines, grids. Well, I don't need a plugin. I made one before. Like, I made one by accident. How did I do that? I want a table so that we can organize the letters, right? Tab. T. Alt T. The grid doesn't do anything. Effects. Layers. Okay, well, I guess we'll have to just, oh, wait, no. You know what? You know what I was thinking? You know what I was thinking, chat? I made a table in my notes on my phone. That's what I was thinking of. I didn't do anything in Paint.net. Never mind. I'm kind of foolish. Okay. So we have A, B, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. I need to make this smaller. That's a little hard to read, isn't it? 15? Can we see that? You can kind of see that. Dang it. Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. It still doesn't fit. Okay. Dang, I wish there was an easier way to do this. But it doesn't look like there will be. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'll just have to do them as we go. So, I have a Scrabble board here, which handily has the number of each letter on there for us. And what I can do is I need to see what the value of Scrabble letters are to get a frame of reference. Can I copy this by chance? Probably not. Right? You can't see what I'm doing right now, but I have a separate window open. Of course, it can't be easy. Can I keep this, like, above at the top? I don't think I can. Okay. Never mind then. We're doing our own point values anyway, so let's see. A has 9. B has 2. C has 2. D. F 2. G 329 3. And then 114 J. Then we can just start over here. L 268. Two and 6. Four, 6, 4. Four. 2, 2, 1. And then Y and Z are 2 and 1 respectively. Okay, so that is the spread for all the letters. So you can see it's heavily biased towards vowels, which makes sense because, you know, vowels are the most common, and then the least common letters in the alphabet have less. So if we want to just keep it like this, then, you know, that's fine. This adds up to 100, I think. Oh, and there's two blanks. There's 2 blanks in there too. But we don't want blanks. I don't think I do anyway. No blanks. It's also, you know what, there's a few things we also need to remember too, right? That we don't have blanks, and in this game, letters get reshuffled into the bag. Or at least they should. We didn't play that way last time because I didn't have a bag. But they will get recycled. So these numbers don't mean as much because you can get several letters several times. What was that? Oh, I heard the music. I was like, what was that? I thought I got a ping. So what we could do, we could get away with evening it out more, right? Like give some of the ones that that only have 1, like give them a couple. And then take some off of the vowels. So like 2, 2. I give these two, have 2 Q's, have 2 X's, have 2 Z's. They need to take 5, a total of 5 away, right? So maybe like take a couple of E's off. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. There aren't very many U's. 5. Maybe do something closer to that. You know what I'm saying? That might make a bit more sense. Or it might be a little bit more sensible. Since they're all getting reshuffled anyway. An even distribution would probably be a bad idea. What is that? 26 divided, or 100 divided by 26 is about, wait, 100 divided by 26 is about 4 each, which is not ideal. I mean, having only 4 E's within the bag. Vowels need to be more likely. Alright, that's just how it is. They need to be more likely. But again, they get recycled, so we don't have to worry about it as much. I feel like S should be a little bit more common. Like the letter S. Well, S is kind of hard to use in this context. Since an S is mostly useful for tagging it onto the end of a word that already exists. But since in most cases what you're doing is filling in the middle letters of a word, S is not going to be as useful. So I like this. I mean, the Scrabble spread is probably designed this way for a reason already. It's probably well designed. You know, a lot of testing probably went into how many of each letter there should be. So I don't want to stray too far from it. But I think this is a reasonable change to make. So with that established, we should decide on how many points or the value of each. So my initial thought with how to do this was to divide them into tiers. So like there's 26 letters, right? So 26, you can divide 26 evenly into 26. What does 26 divide evenly into? No. Does it divide evenly into anything? 26 divided by 4? 26 divided by... No. 26 divided by 5 doesn't make any sense. Divided by 6? 7? 8? 9? I don't think it divides evenly into anything. I think it only divides evenly into itself. $26 divided by Well, I mean, it divides evenly into 2, obviously. Because it's an even number. 3? Oh, wait. We need to add... We need to put 2 more letters in here. Because we don't have blanks. So there would be 2 blanks in here. But we need... We need to put those extra ones somewhere. I think what we could do here is... I think U would probably... Yeah, U only has 4 in it. So let's give U a boost. Give it 6. Okay, anyway, so as I was saying... One thought I had was to divide it into tiers, right? So, maybe like... Maybe 6 distinct tiers, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We split it off there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or need to make some smaller ones. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So like maybe like this zone had, maybe these are worth different points. You know what I mean? Like these are worth, I don't know. We don't need large numbers. We just need as many numbers as there are tiers. Right, so 5. And then this one's worth 4. And 3, 2, 1, etc. But that seems like it's ignoring a lot of nuance. I don't think we can just do it as easily as that. But we do need to choose how many... How many tiers of power there are. Whether that be... 6 or 5. Either one of those, I'm kind of feeling. Either 6 or 5. I'm gonna move these numbers over. Oops, that's okay. Never mind, I won't. We'll just know that those are the number. Okay. So I'm thinking maybe 5 tiers of power is probably good. Or perhaps 7. Right. Let's see. What's the highest number of letters here is... The highest quantity any one letter has is 10. And the lowest any one letter has is 2. So that'd be... I mean, that'd be 8 on its own. If we wanted to just do that. Right. They're like converse. But I think having more is probably a better idea. So you can actually have better ones than your opponent, because it could just end up like being you all have equal power, you know. Let's go with let's go with 6. Let's go with 6 tiers of power. Right? 6 being the highest, 1 being the lowest value, obviously. So what should the most powerful letters be? And when I say that, I mean in a duel. What should the most powerful letters be? And that should be like... the most powerful letters in your hand for a duel should be the ones that are the hardest to keep. Right? Because you want to keep strong ones, but keeping them prevents you from actually playing them. That's the whole balance we're trying to go with. So it would be that like E, A, and O would probably be the strongest in that case. Or E, A, and I would probably be the strongest. Right? So but then they're like the strongest ones are the most common. So it's hard to kind of base that. I've given myself a challenging design issue here. Because what do you do if most of the letters are the strongest in the game? Okay. Well, how about... So we have 6. We have 6 for these 3. And then the next strongest, if we're going by, like, easiest to use means strongest in a duel, would be O, U, R, and T. Like 8 to 10, and then 7 to 6. How many of these have 6? So like 5, 5, 5. Another 5er there. 5. 6 to... Wait, 7... So that was 7 to 6. And then do we have anything that has 5? No. The next lowest is 4. 4 and 3. 4. Well, I guess we can just go by the quantity, right? So 4. Mm, 3. That's, oh, G is the only one with 3. G's the only one with 3. Huh, okay, that's neat. Hmm. The more you know. 2. Nope. 2. Actually, the ones that we modified to be 2 should be worth 1. This is much less organized than I am comfortable with usually. If, without context, the stream probably looks like the ramblings of a madman. Like what kind of cipher am I laying out here? So Z is worth 1. Y is worth 2. X is worth 1. I feel like there should be a couple more that are worth 3. At least a couple. But, I don't know. I mean, we could also go in reverse alphabetical order. We could just do that. Like, Z is worth the least, and then A is worth the most. Sort of like poker rules, you know? In terms of the values of different cards. I mean, it kind of tends... If we look at it, it kind of tends that the more powerful ones are at the beginning. We could try also like a binary system. Like it's either a 1 or a 0. That wouldn't be very interesting though. Yeah, let's see. What can we make into a 3? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 9 2s and 1 3. There are 3 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 5s. 1, 2, 3. 3 4s. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that spread. We'll keep it there just in case. But I don't know if I like it. We gotta clean this up. Hold on. It's gonna bother me until I fix it. Now I can move these. To a more reasonable spot. Okay. That's a little neater, don't you think? Vice versa. Oh, hey Vice versa. Welcome to the stream. Sorry if I vanished last time. I was so tired. No worries. No worries. I appreciate you being here for any length of time. So, welcome to the stream. What I'm doing right now, I'm designing a board game today. I don't know if you've ever played Scrabble. It's kind of similar to that. What I'm doing right now is trying to decide how much each letter should be worth. In relation to how many letters there are in the game. Never played Scrabble? It's essentially like a crossword game. Have you finished the game? I have not finished. No, I'm in the process of making it right now. I play tested it last week. So I'm implementing some of the changes. One of the features of the game is that God of War? No, I did not finish God of War. I'm not playing any of it off stream. So, the last place I was in was where I ended up at the end of Friday. I think, where was I? I had just flown to the temple on the Phoenix. That's where I am right now. Or that's where I'll be picking up on, Thursday. Anyway, I'm kind of struggling here. I don't know how to do this, right? Yeah, I'm pretty close. I feel like I'm really close. I mean, that's probably the last part of the game. So in this game that I'm making here, one of the features is that when your pawn reaches another pawn, you go into a duel. And to win a duel, you have to play letters that are higher value than your opponent's. Get ready, oh boy. As long as it's just combat, I should be fine. The puzzles are the things that get me. But yeah, I don't know. here I tried seeing like the more common letters are worth more and the less common letters are worth less. But that doesn't really, I don't know. I don't really like that all that much. So where's my paintbrush? Maybe less tiers of power. Like maybe 3 or 4. Vowel should be worth the most, I think. Text. I can't help you, sorry. No worries. I'm tired right now. Yeah. I mean, it is what? It's 2 o'clock in Italy right now. I don't blame you. But I do like to talk to myself, so 2:22, yeah. I'm not high this time. Incredible. Well, I'm glad that you show up to my stream even when you're sober. That's reassuring. So what I'm gonna do here, vowels are gonna be worth 4. And then 3, 2, 1, right? So we have 10 to 6 to 10 to 6. I'm gonna go sleep. Okay. Well, thanks for showing up, vice versa. I appreciate you. You have a good night. Uh, 3. There's so many numbers on screen right now. I'm confusing myself. 6 to... Well, we have... Nothing is worth 5. No, there's no 5s anywhere. So it'd be 4 to 3. And then 2 and then 1. So anything that has 4 or 3 will make it worth 3 points. 3. 3. 3. It's already there. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if it's worth 2, we make it worth 2 points or 2 power, I guess. I don't know what to call it. 2 value. 2. 2. 2. It's a lot of 2s. Dang it. Hold on. These ones, the ones that used to be 1, I'll make worth less. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. Okay. And then 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. We have a lot of gaps here. Or we have a couple of gaps. So there's 5 4s. Those are the strongest. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 2s. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1s. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 3s. 6, 7, 8, 9. So I think we'll fill out the 3s here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5. I think I like that. There might be more room for like granular, like within the 2s and. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. So now we have this. We have this base. So let's be a little bit more specific, like within the 2s and the 3s, I think, because the 1s are fine. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4 of those, or 5 of those rather. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 2s. And we have 1, 2, 3, 7 3s. Okay. So we're gonna need to, if we're gonna split both of those in half, then we're gonna need 2 more tiers. So the 4s become 6s. Right? Yeah. Six. 6. And then the 3s are going to be split up into 5s and 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 of these should be 5s. And then the rest should be 4s. So which ones are the easier to use? It's 4, it's 3, it's 4, it's a 6. It's a 6, that's a 6. Oh, well, I think it just answered the question for me. Yeah, the ones that have 6 should be worth more. 5. 5. Should become 4s. I will clean this up, so don't worry. 4. 4. And the 2s get split into 3 and 2. 9. So 4 of them should be 3. 4 of them should be 3. Okay. And all of these have 2. So I'll have to be a little bit more judicial here. I think M. Which ones are easier to use out of these? B and C. Well, you also gotta think, because you could use them for color slots as well. So which ones make good starters? I think B has a lot of 3-letter words, because most of the words you're going to be making are 3 letters. So we'll do 3 for B. We'll do 3 for F. H, M, P, V, W, Y. Yeah, I think M and P probably are good candidates for this. And then the rest of them are 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2. And that stays 2. And then the other ones stay 1. Two. 2. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. Okay, I think this is a reasonable... Now, did that change much from what I had before? Not really. There are some differences, though. Some minor ones. I like this. We'll work off of this for now. Sorry. So with this in mind, let's actually design what a letter tile might look like. We'll do a couple of drafts. So what we have options. We have options. We could do, you know, just like what Scrabble does. We have a letter and then we have the number in the corner. That makes the most sense. But, you know, we can stylize it a little bit more, right? We could try to stylize it some. Maybe we have it on top, and then we have the number here. We don't have much space to work with. It's only 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch. But I think we should make it clear somehow that the score is only there for the duel. Right. So... I know what that's about to look like. Alright, bear with me, chat. The idea is that it looks like a blade, right? You got a sword, and then we got the hilt here, or something. Well, The idea is to have like a sort of round area there to put the number in. But that's just not how a sword is shaped. Maybe like a cross blades, and then you have the no, because we have to remember how little detail we can actually put in this, because it's so small. It's like real small. The letter needs to be the focus. I don't think we should put like a bunch of decoration on there. Like a sword, probably like a sword graphic. Probably is a little too much. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just do that. So let's start with the letter. What? Schoolbook. Yeah, I was using Century Schoolbook. I think what this is, the blue, what is that? Do not place any important text beyond the dotted line. So the blue is where we need to keep everything inside. Just in case. So we have even less room than I thought. I think we can make it a little bit larger though. 40? It's a little too big. We need room for the number in the corner. Yeah, but the thing is, it almost never, like, actually cuts off here. So, like, what it ends up looking like is, you have just a ton of extra space. But, you know, you don't want the possibility of it getting cut off. Put that there. Then how much was A worth? A is worth 6. A has a value of 6. Six. How's that? A6. Great. And then we could just use like a boring white background if we wanted to. But, you know, we should have a little bit more style than that, right? Of course, I don't know what kind of style we'd be going for. I kind of wanted to have like a repeated sort of like tiled number background. That might be a little confusing though. Because you gotta think, they're very small letters, and there's gonna be a lot of them. You need to be able to see what you're looking at a glance. Okay, what if we did this? Oh, wrong. Not what I wanted to do. Have like a big letter in the middle. And then we have the number sort of like tucked behind it. That's a sizable lad. Put that right there. And then watch this. We change the color of this to like red. Move it behind at maybe 40. Or 30 might work a bit better. So like it looks more like a suit, you know? And then let me make the background white. Shape. Doesn't that look elegant? Look at that. Isn't that nice? And that fits within the boundaries as well. Although I do want to add a little bit of texture somehow. Maybe some, like a gray accent of some kind. Let's see. Like, something like that, you know? Oh, that's pretty ugly. Ugh. I don't know about that, Chief. Plaid. Solid diamond. That is pretty hard to read. Like, just give it a little bit of, like, something. You know? Like, that at least gives it a little bit more visual interest. Aside from just being blank white. Because, you know, like, Scrabble tiles, even Scrabble tiles have, like a wood texture. You know? So just something to make it look a little bit more interesting. I think would go a long way. I don't know if any of these, like, stock, like, fills are gonna be it, though. Let me save this right quick first. Change that. I guess templates, right? Letter 6. Complete. Save. Okay, this is saved. So I feel better about that. Let's see what kind of effects we got up here. Or we can experiment, actually, with just different colors, too. Maybe a light blue? No. Oh. Because, I mean, look at the board, right? This isn't what the final board is going to look like, but it's multicolored. So... And the whole theme is sort of like bridges and roads. So maybe we should work with that somehow? But when you think of road, you think of black. And the letter is already black. We could change the letter color, I guess. Change that to white. And what is this? Change this to black. That's very striking, isn't it? Wow, that actually looks pretty cool. It's easy to read. I think I like the white on black a lot better than the black on white. Let me try something. So, there's some distortion effects. Available to me. I wonder if maybe we can add like a little bit of texture if we distort like a base. Distort dense. Like you see what I'm saying here? We can like give it a little bit of we can sort of simulate marbling almost. It kind of gives you the this sort of kind of gives me the impression of like you know, like that black sort of marbling effect you get on like it looks like this could be like a kitchen counter or something. I kind of like that. This is dense, by the way. It's dense. Blur is probably not... Yeah, blur is not it. Any blur, really, probably isn't going to give us what we need. What else do we have? We have bulge? No. Clipboard. Crystallize? So, okay, this is an interesting idea. This is an interesting effect. Uh-oh. Wait. Oh, okay. It gets out of hand really fast. That looks kind of cool. Actually, you know what? That kind of looks like cobblestone a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a bridge, then it would make sense if it kind of looked like sort of cobblestoney. But bridges aren't usually black. I'd have to change the color to something else if I wanted to go down that route. But then at that point it would be like gray and darker gray. Let me see. There's a dark gray. Distort. Crystallize. That looks pretty cool. I kind of like that. Yeah, that gives the impression of like a cobblestone bridge. I mean, if you use your imagination, that is. It obviously doesn't look perfectly like cobblestone. I could also try just adding some extra, like, black in there. Make it look a little more random. It already gives... There is already, like, different shades, though, going on. Let me see what the other distort looks like. It still looks cool, but it's not as bridgy, you know? Distort frosted glass? No, I don't like that one. Morphology. What is this? I don't like that. That doesn't really... Wait, there's another mode. Hold on. I do apologize, you can't see any of the windows I'm looking at, but... Pixelate, polar inversion, tile reflection. No. Effect. Distort. Fill. Noise? No. Bevel. Photo. Render. Selection. Stylize. Text. Fill. Distort. The best one so far is definitely crystallize. Increase the size of the cells to such a point where you can't tell. It's built off of lines. And it looks either like... It ends up looking either like cobblestone or asphalt. Let me add some more lines as well. Maybe some crossing lines. Yeah, add some more detail. And you can still read it. You can still read what it's supposed to say. Distort, crystallize. So what cell size do we like? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About there. You can still see lines. 8. Now you can you really can't tell that there are lines there, right? Reseed. I mean, you'd only know because you knew how they were made, but there, that's that I think 10 is the right level, or 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That might look a little bit more like camo. Because I want it to be big so that the detail doesn't get lost. The bigger the cells are, the easier it would be to read the letter as well. Quality up to 5. I'm trying to look at it from a distance. $20 isn't bad. $16. I think 18 is the sweet spot. It's small enough so that it sort of looks like stone, but it's big enough that at scale, let's see, what does it look like at scale? So we'll do cell size 18, quality 5, but I want to save this first, so that if we make other ones, we can make new seeds. Right, so we'll distort, crystallize. $18, 5, reseed. Okay. And then if we look at it at scale, that looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. And actually, that's good timing, because it is 8 o'clock. Ooh, is it better black or white? Or not white, but like, I think it's better that way. Yeah. Okay. So it's 8. So I'm going to save this. Save the No! Okay. Save it like this. The template should be saved like this. And then we save this as a PDF. Images. Letters. Letter A. PNG. Save. Brilliant. Okay. We can close this. We didn't change anything. What did we cross off today? Crossed off this, and we crossed off this. We will consult this. We will consult this list later. Let me save this list. Save. Okay. Get rid of that. Don't need this. And we'll save this as our how many letters .png. Awesome. Okay. That's gonna be it for today. Let me move it back to my face. Alright, that's gonna be it for today. Let me turn the music off. So thank you everybody who is watching here or in the future, listening or lurking or whatever it is you're doing. If you are here, that is, kind of a slow day in stream today, but that's okay. I thank everybody for their support, and I hope this was interesting to watch, at least. I hope at least I was, I made good background noise or something. But I will be back, to knock more stuff off that to-do list. Or, actually, probably the next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to be making more letters. I'll be making more letters, doing some more stuff off the to-do list, and that will be on to Wednesday. I'll be back Wednesday for more Lexicauseways development. That's the name of this game, actually. I don't think I've said it yet this stream. But, yeah, Wednesday I'll be back to work more on this game. And then on Thursday, I will be continuing God of War 2. I may or may not finish God of War 2 on Thursday, since we're on the last level of the game. If we do finish, then Friday will be a brand new stream game. It'll be a PS2 game off the list in my... if you look below in the About section in the Games area, there's a list of upcoming PS2 games I want to stream. It'll be one of those. It'll be up to a vote. Well, all that said, there's nobody to raid today. So, thank you everybody for being here. I hope you have a great Tuesday. I wish you all a good night, and God bless, and goodbye.